For the members of Shanti Niwas Charitable Trust, सबका साथ है प्रोग्राम के दौरान आपने हर हमेशा कुछ अलग देखा है और हमारी कोशिश ये है कि हमारे इस प्रोग्राम से हमारे लिसनर्स को कुछ व्यूवर्स को कुछ अच्छा मिले और ऑफ कोर्स हमारी टीम के साथ ये हुआ है। सो आज हमारे साथ नीलिमा जी हुए हैं और ऑफ कोर्स माइकल वुड भी हुए हैं जो बहुत सारे हमारे प्रोग्राम्स में आते हैं। तो वेलकम टू द शो। हाउ यू डूइंग नीलिमा जी फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल?
Thank you very much. I'm doing fine.
Very good. Michael, how are you doing?
I'm very, very good, thank you. It's been an unusual period for all of us, but I think like everyone else, I've adapted and changed things and I'm going all right, thank you.
Wow, fantastic to have you, and I'm sure our seniors would love to hear more from you in this interview. So, Nilima ji, first of all, what's our agenda today? What are we doing today?
We just wanted to ask Michael. First of all, I would like to thank Michael and our dear Prime Minister and Dr. Bloomfield, who are doing such, and their team, and they're doing such a great job. And I think we are very proud to be part of the 5 million team, honestly. I think the world over, there is a big talk about New Zealand, how we are controlling this one. I think the credit goes to our Prime Minister, 100%. And actually, I think it's become a regime for me in my house to switch on the TV at 1 o'clock because I don't want to miss Dr. Bloomfield's announcements. And yeah, it really makes us proud as Kiwis to see the good work being done here. And I know not every country is in that stage where they can say this. And yeah, very proud of that, Michael. And would you like to say anything about that? Add on to that?
Sure. Well, look, I think you're right in acknowledging the really amazing and decisive leadership from the Prime Minister, Dr. Bloomfield and others. But I also know the Prime Minister, and she's a humble person. And if you ever say anything like that to her about how we've managed COVID, she will say what you said, that we've done this as a team of 5 million people, that yes, we've had great leadership from her and from others, but we've been able to keep safe and save many, many lives because nearly everyone has made the changes that are required and has followed the guidelines and has stayed at home and has kept safe. And the truth is that at the beginning of this period, we had a very scary situation. Our medical experts were saying there could be thousands of people in New Zealand, particularly our elderly, particularly our vulnerable people, who would die. And we have stopped that from happening. We've had 20 deaths, very sadly. But you look at other countries and it could have been much, much worse. Ireland, a country about the same size as us, has had about 1,500 deaths. So we can be very proud of our efforts, but also there's still some work to do to make sure that we get there, that we keep people safe, and that we can then safely move back to economic recovery and getting back to more normal for most New Zealanders.
Yeah. You know, for seniors, it's been actually very hard staying at home because social isolation, as you know, is a very, very big problem. Actually, now we are feeling what social isolation actually means, you know, in our generation. And you can imagine the senior citizens, how they must be feeling. But one good thing we saw, Michael, is that most of our seniors are spending a lot of time with families and grandchildren, which they could not do. So that is a good thing that's come out of lockdown, something positive. There are a lot of issues with seniors. As we go down to level 3, I'm not very sure if they can still come out and whether we can run our activities and programs. I'm not very sure because there's no vaccine and they are in the high risk group. I just wanted some guidance and advice from you regarding that.
Yes, certainly. Well, look, just firstly touching on that issue of social isolation. And I think that's been the hardest thing for many people, perhaps particularly people who might be living by themselves or be isolated in other ways. So I just really want to acknowledge that we haven't really been able to avoid that to keep people safe, but it's been tough. And I know that's why people want us to move forward and have a bit more freedom again. The good news is that, you know, we're now at level 3, so that's freed things up a little bit, but it's still pretty restrictive. The cabinet will make the decision about whether we go to level 2 next Monday. And that's all about saying, does the public health advice support that we are on top of this virus and that we've been able to keep on track to eliminating it throughout the course of level 3. Now, yesterday, the Prime Minister announced what level 2 will be like for New Zealand. So that gives people a bit of an idea. And basically at level 2, the catchphrase we're using for level 2 is play it safe. So it is a big move back to being able to operate and live more normally, but with safety measures in place. So all businesses will be able to operate at level 2. People will be able to go to work. We won't have to stick to our bubbles anymore. People will be able to go out and go to the shops, visit friends and relatives, meet people in their community at level 2. We'll be able to do those things again, which will be so wonderful to see everyone. But within that, we will have to be extra safe and have very firm precautions in place. So lots of stuff like good hand washing, avoiding lots of touching of people, and keeping 1 metre distances in our workplaces and at community gatherings, and having limits on the number of people who can gather in any one place of a maximum of 100. So yes, we can start to do things normally again, but with an added layer of safety precautions, because COVID is still a very dangerous virus. It is probably still there in parts of our community. So we need these measures in place to stop it from spreading. But as I say, it will allow people to start to feel a little bit more normal and to be able to connect again, which I know many, many people are very keen to do.
Yeah, that seniors are also looking forward to that, but they're a bit hesitant and scared because, you know, they are in that age group. But I think, yes, at least they can go out for a shop and they can go for a walk maybe, so that will ease their isolation a little bit maybe.
Yes, the one thing I should add to that is there will be really very clear advice that if people have got any health conditions, either underlying conditions that make them more vulnerable, or if they have a cough or a cold or a sniffle, then we're still saying please stay at home. Because A, there's a risk that you might be spreading the virus, but B, if your health system and your immune system is more compromised, there's a greater risk to you if you're going out. So we're not saying to seniors, you all have to stay at home. You've still got the same rights to connect with other people as people of all ages. But if you have got health conditions or concerns, then you should stay at home to protect yourself and to protect others.
That's nice. Just talking on the health issues, off late, this whole month and a half, a lot of operations and surgeries were put away. And there are a lot of seniors who are actually waiting for a lot of minor surgeries. Would you let us know if there's anything being done to hurry up that process or what else is happening?
Yes, it's a very good point, because with so many things going on hold to deal with COVID-19, there have also been those things happening in our health system. They had to ensure that our hospitals were ready and available to accept people who might have been sick from COVID. And basically, they also had to minimise the number of people there, because actually hospitals are one of the most dangerous places to spread a potential infection. So that has meant not that everything's been delayed. Most acute stuff has still been able to be done in our hospitals, but many other, as you say, particularly minor procedures have been delayed. And I know that has a real effect on people. I sit on the Epidemic Response Select Committee at Parliament, which has continued to meet throughout this period. And we've had the Director General of Health, Ashley Bloomfield, in front of us and talked about this issue. And he has reported to us that district health boards are all gearing up to work out how they can, as quickly as possible, start performing those procedures again, and to start trying to catch up, because we know that there have been many thousands of procedures that haven't been able to happen. So they're all putting plans in place now. It will take a while to catch up, but they are going to work very, very hard on that. And at our end in government, we're looking very closely at the resourcing. We've got our budget coming up next week. And while we won't be announcing any decisions until that time of the budget, we're looking very closely at the support we give to the health system so that it can get back on its feet and support people with any procedures or help that they need.
Yeah, I know they have done a great job so far. So we are thankful to whatever they've done. Michael, you know, this situation has actually shown how vulnerable the older people are. Just not health-wise, but also social wise as well. You know, this sector has actually not been funded very much. And as you know, there have been funding cuts in this sector. But now we've known actually the vulnerability of this section of people. So do you think the government will have a different kind of an outlook now and to see what can be done more to support the sector?
Look, I think that's a very, very fair point. And it's really interesting sometimes that a crisis can show you things that you otherwise maybe don't notice at other times. And I can think of a few examples of that. So, I think for a long time we've taken a lot of those frontline workers for granted, the nurses, the cleaners, supermarket workers. But boy, we've learned through this crisis how reliant we are on those people. So there's a wake up for our society that we need to value those people more. And you're also right that this crisis has really thrown up the fact that we do have people in our community, and you're particularly talking about our seniors community, but there are others too, who do have social isolation issues and do have needs that we really do need to meet for their health and for their well-being. That's very much the approach that we want to take as a government. Throughout the course of this crisis, we've put an additional $600 million into the health system, and we want to continue putting the investment in to make sure that everyone's well-being is looked after. So look, I know that is something that will be really strongly looked at, both at this budget, but also as we look forward. There's, I won't make any bones about this, there's a really big challenge about the investments we make now. At the beginning of this year, New Zealand's books were in very good shape. We had low debt, we were running surpluses. COVID now means that our government debt situation is going to increase massively, and there are significant economic consequences. So we need to make sure that we're making really good investments to look after people's well-being, but we've also got to manage those books reasonably carefully. So I know we'll be looking closely at that, wanting to work with Shanti, Niwas and others in the sector to make sure that the support is going where it's needed. And I'm very happy to be an ongoing advocate for that.
Thank you very much. You've always been very supportive. Thanks for that. Because, being an NGO, it's very difficult going forward, how are we going to survive? I know there's going to be funding cuts everywhere, and even the philanthropic funding is going to dry up. So I hope the government looks at the NGO sector and throws a little bit of funding to our side too.
Well, look, as you know as well, Nalima, one of the factors we have in New Zealand is that we have our district health board system where the money goes to district health boards and they make decisions, and sometimes those decisions aren't always the same in different regions. That is something that we're having a bit of a look at. And again, COVID has thrown up questions about, is that the best model for making health decisions to have 20 different district health model boards? So we're going to look closely at all of that stuff, as I say, to make sure that we get the right support into the right places.
Oh, that's good to know. And Hemanji, is there anything you want to add on?
Well, yeah, I think basically our seniors would love to, get out and meet each other, but we are doing it so well. I think one must say that, as Michael, you've seen through the numbers that people have really obeyed the rules and really haven't created any other extra problems for the system in particular, which is a hats off. And I think that's where whenever we get together, we want to celebrate that. And thanks to your efforts around the Mount Roskill ward, because I know you were really active out there, but I also seen your activity on the social media that you were, really, helping the process be smooth. And thank you for that. So I think it's well. Our program was to be, to unite the efforts of people and recognize the efforts of people, and we'd like to recognize your efforts as well. So thank you from all the members.
Yeah.
Oh, well, look, that's very kind of you. And well, can I recognise both of you as well? Because I know that Shanti Niwas has played a really critical role in ensuring people remain connected. Tirana and all of our media have also played an incredibly important role in making sure people have accurate information. Because in a crisis event like this, the worst thing is for people to be confused, to hear rumours, to not have good information. And I know that you've been really responsible and played your part as a member of the Fourth Estate to make sure that we have that good information going out to all of our communities. So as we said at the beginning, it's been a big team effort for New Zealand to get through all of this, and everyone should feel rightly proud of their efforts.
Well, indeed, thank
Michael,
you.
My request is, can you please take our appreciation and our thanks to our Prime Minister and her team, please, from all of the senior citizens and the management at Shanti Niwas. It would be really great if you can convey our best wishes to her, and she's rocking.
I definitely will. I know that many people feel that way, and I'll make sure that she does hear that message directly from you as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming and talking to us, and I'm sure seniors will enjoy.
Nalima, just one other thing I did meant to mention earlier, but I forgot, is just to make sure that everyone does know we've tried to provide a bit of extra support for seniors starting this week. So we've had the winter energy payment has started from this week. This is something that our government brought in starting 2 years ago. For this year, because of COVID, we've doubled it. So people who are receiving New Zealand superannuation, or also other people on main benefits, from this week should have been getting that doubled winter heating payment, and that will go from May right through till the end of September. So that's there to make sure that people keep the heaters on, that people don't feel that they have to get cold over winter because of the power bills. We want to encourage seniors, make sure your home stays warm. That's really important for your health, and that money is there to help you do that.
Yes, thank you very much for that. That will really be very helpful. And I should say the MSD has been awesome, actually, supporting seniors in need. Thank you very much once again. And hopefully we'll see you in person very soon.
Yeah,
I really look forward to that.
God willing.
And like these kind of information we really need, that we can pass it on through, like Shanti, Niwas, to the members. So if any information, Michael, from your wing out there here in Auckland, that our nationwide wing can get some more information, we can translate it into our own languages and pass it to our members. So that would be another great help as well. So thank you so much for your contribution and your time once again, and we look forward to meet you in other events of Shanti Niwas.
Thank you. Real pleasure. Hope to see you soon.
Thank you.